chapter 8, verse 34. I will not violate my covenant or alter what my lips have uttered.
Greetings to all Comores. Welcome to the Covenantal
Relationships
Podcast.
I am Kurt Kermeta.
And I'm Albert Tanconchan. And together we will be presenting to you the
Episode 1 titled Bound by Promise, God's Covenant in Today's World.
Going back to our Bible verse of the day from Psalm chapter 89 verse 34. I will not violate my covenant or alter what my lips have uttered. Explains our main focus of today's podcast.
This highlights how God's covenant is unbreakable, reassures His people that His words are trustworthy, honest, and eternal, fostering a foundation of an unbreakable covenant and relationship through Him. Right, Albert?
Absolutely. In a world tainted by broken promises, temporary commitments, and fragile trust, God's covenantal relationships in the scriptures stand out and reveal bonds built not on convenience or performance, but on unwavering love and enduring promises. Something that humanity has to be reminded of, especially in today's time. Today's society is tainted by corruption, selfishness, and indifference. Many ignore the problems around them, pollution, violence, and injustice, because they feel unaffected. Yet this apathy strains our relationship with God, making it harder for humanity to remain faithful to His promises and ways.
This topic matters now, especially because God's covenant invites us to show the values of responsibility, justice, and care in a world that most often choose convenience and self-interest. Instead, we need to be reminded of what it means to live in a faithful relationship with God and one another. What it means to be a community built on love, trust, and support, with the Lord as our guiding light.
As we dwell into this topic, we have invited a special guest, a student from Ateneo de Davao University Senior High School, for her to elaborate her experiences and reflections on this said topic.
Let us warmly welcome Farah Gubaynon from 11 Moors.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Sir Kurt and Sir Albert. Good day as well to those who are watching, especially to the Comores listeners.
What a warm welcome, Ms. Farah. Our topic today is about covenantal relationships. I'm sure you are familiar with the topic, am I right?
Absolutely, Sir Albert. As a student of Ateneo de Davao University Senior High School, I have experienced several trials and difficulties with my commitment with God and His covenants, such as temptations, failed commitment, doubts, and spiritual struggles.
Sure, connect this through scriptural foundations. In the creation covenant, God creates the world and humanity as the first step toward the covenant between God and His people. He entrusts us to take care for His other creations and blesses us in His likeness, Imago Dei, with life and abundance. This covenantal relationship emphasizes that God's covenant is not rooted in domination, but in love and trust, where humans have purpose and identity.
In addition, in the Noah covenant, through a rainbow, God promises to never destroy earth with a flood ever again. God reestablishes a familial relationship with humanity through this covenant, highlighting that God's love is greater than human failure and that His covenant with humanity endures even when people fall short.
In the Abrahamic covenant, God initiates the relationship with Abraham, requiring faith and trust even without knowing all the details.
Despite human failures, God works through Abraham to bless the world. Lastly, in the Davidic covenant, God chose David to be the king and promised his descendants would succeed if they remain faithful. Through David and his lineage often failed, God remained faithful, showing His unwavering commitment to His promises.
With that being said, Ms. Farah, in your own ways, how do you think God's faithfulness in these covenants guide us when we face challenges, temptations, or failures in our own lives?
With those wonderful scriptural foundations, it reflects that even when humans fail, God keeps His promises. This teaches us to trust Him during our own struggles, temptations, or mistakes. Knowing that God is patient and steadfast encourages us to persevere, remain faithful, and rely on His guidance instead of losing hope when we face challenges. These covenants remind us that our identity is not rooted in our achievements, but by God's call for us. We are His stewards, His family. These covenants reveal our purpose to live with faith and to trust in God, to care for His creation, and to live with love amongst ourselves. Just as stated in Matthew chapter 22 verse 39, love your neighbor as thyself.
Exactly, Miss Farah. Theologically, these covenants reveal God as a merciful, loving, and forgiving God. In each and every covenantal relationship, whether unconditional or conditional, humanity always falls into sin.
However, despite all our shortcomings and the wrongdoings that humanity has committed, God still continues to reach out to us and build a relationship with us. God's faithfulness is constant, and His desire to love and guide humanity continues, even when people falter in their trust, obedience, and faith for Him.
As we embark onto the next chapter entitled Sacraments as Covenant Signs, I would like to ask Miss Farah a reflective question. When we think about the sacraments, how do you see them acting as the signs of God's covenant? How do they actually help us remember His promise and stay faithful in our daily lives?
Well, the sacraments are God's way of showing His covenant with us. Every time we celebrate baptism or the Eucharist, it reminds us that He's faithful and we're part of His family, helping us stay connected to Him even when life gets tough. The sacraments continue and fulfill God's covenant with humanity, making His invisible grace visible. Through them, God shares His holiness with us, enabling us to bring holiness into the world. Like His covenants with Noah and Abraham, the sacraments commemorate and make present God's promises to His people.
Exactly. Sacraments such as baptism welcomes us into new life with God, cleansing us from sin. A confirmation deepens our faith by sealing us with the Holy Spirit. The Eucharist nourishes us spiritually, and penance restores our relationship with God when we sin. Anointing of the sick reminds us He's with us in suffering. Matrimony and holy orders show His love through our relationships and service. Together, the sacraments make God's promises real in our lives.
Biblical covenant and the sacraments might seem different, but they're really connected. Covenants were God's promises to specific people, with signs to show His commitment. The sacraments, part of the new covenant, are for everyone. They continue those promises, letting God share His grace, love, and guidance with all of us.
This chapter, called the Faith Sharing, highlights real-life experiences of our guest speaker, Ms. Farah. To those who are listening and watching this podcast, you might experience the same scenarios as her.
My goal in this chapter is to highlight my experiences that might reflect through the listeners as well. I hope I can inspire and express my experiences on this said topic.
That's wonderful, Miss Farah. To start off, let's have a quick run back through of the past chapters of this episode. Firstly, we discussed the connection and challenges of our society today. We experienced different scriptural foundations and theological reflections about how God forms covenantal relationship with humanity. Furthermore, we also talk about the different sacraments and visible signs of how God connects with us and how He extends His promises and commitments.
Now, can you share several personal experiences wherein God formed or initiated a covenantal relationship with you?
Absolutely. In my life, I have experienced many things, both good and bad. But what's important above all is that these experiences have changed my life physically, emotionally, and spiritually. In the past, I always had struggles with my faith. I struggled to believe that He was here and that He even saw what I was going through. In those hard times, I struggled to pray, where I chose to brush off my faith and lose focus on what's important in my life. That was when my struggles started to get worse.
What did you do to solve that problem or struggle?
When I hit rock bottom, I started to pray. I asked for God to give me a sign, and ever since that day, I became more faithful. I started to pray more. I started to truly be grateful for God's covenant with us, for in that moment in my life started to get better. It didn't improve immediately, but it improved. It took time. I started to see things differently. I started to see what God has done for me. God showed me not just in the moment, but in every day after that. My life must continue for the covenant that He made with us, all of us.
How did that personal experience of yours change your perspective in your life?
That personal experience opened my eyes. Before, I was blind. But God helped me see. He showed me that my hardships had a purpose, to build me, strengthen my faith, and trust in Him. I learned not to give up, facing life with courage, remembering that all the darkness in the world cannot extinguish the light of a single candle, as stated by Saint Francis of Assisi. I am forever grateful for God and for the challenges that shaped me to follow His will. With this, I am for sure that this kind of struggle did not only happen to me, but maybe to any other listener or person out there. I have been a guest to different podcasts and I talked about this even to my friends, and they can assure me that they have also been experiencing this struggle.
And so, with those reflective experiences, Miss Farah, how can you invite the fellow listeners to proceed to the path in which God has prepared for them?
Now I call upon you for every day we see God's blessing but we may take it for granted. I ask of you now to pray, to help others, to be kind, be loving, and most importantly, be grateful for Him. Let us remember that God's gospel, God's will should live throughout us, not just in readings, but in concrete actions. I call unto you to live a life of hope, love, and respect. For God gave His Son to us, Jesus our Lord died for us. In an act of love to help us, the least we could do for Him is to live out His will on earth. I ask you to forgive each other, be kind to one another, give up what you don't need and give to others, for it is the least that we can do.
I couldn't agree more. To all our listeners and watchers, especially to our dearest Kamors, I hope that these words inspire you, that these words make you into a better person, more faithful one, and a more loving one.
For there will never be an act of love as ultimate as what He has done for you and me. May we continue to follow and live in His will and let His words live on forever.
Let us not let inaction plague us, and instead, show God's love to one another, not only from prayer, but also from action, from what we do with one another.
Once again, we are your host and co-host. I am Albert Tanconchan,
And I am Kurt Corbetta, together with our guest speaker,
Ms. Farah Gubainan.
ending this podcast a warm ending Bible verse.
Isaiah chapter 54 verse 10. Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken.
Live out through faith, as God's promises are sure. His love unending. Go forth knowing His covenant walks with you always.
see you on the next episode of Fellow Kamors.
Throughout this podcast, we are reminded that God's covenant with humanity is not just a promise of the past, but a living relationship that continues to shape our world and our faith today. In a society where trust is often broken and commitments are easily forgotten, we are often challenged to reflect on the kind of relationship we have with God and with one another.
Through real-life experiences shared to us today, we are reminded that staying faithful is not always easy. There will always be moments of doubt, struggle, and distance. But we must always remember that even in those moments, God continues to reach out, calling us back into His embrace.
The covenant call is to action, to not only believe, but to live out our faith through love, through kindness, through forgiveness, and through service to others. Because in every step we take toward goodness and the truth, we respond to a promise with God that has never been broken.
And as we move forward, may we carry this with us, that no matter where we are in life, we remain bound by God's eternal love and His covenant that will always endure, even in moments where we fall short.